Hello and welcome to the Flightline Fabrications Living History Project. Today we're very excited to offer you another segment in our interview series of P-38 pilots from World War II. We hope you enjoy this interview.
And later never did. Well, one of the big events was when the Japanese tried to get two transports in on the far side of the island, Leyte, to land reinforcements, and we were called up, and we were several hours before we get in position. We came in at 20,000 feet with two big bombs, 1 ton or 2 ton bombs on, and dive bombed them. And I remember going down through a left berry of maybe 8 Japanese fighters, 8 or 10 or 12, whatever. And the P-38 picks up a hell of a lot of speed in a dive, especially when you're loaded. And I pulled out. I blacked out, but I could remember, that I'm pulling out. And came to about 5,000–6,000 feet, and picked up one of the airplanes in my wing, and then picked up another element, because I was going back after these Japs that I saw that went down through the center of their big left berry. And the element pulled off. We're low on gas, and I can understand it, but anyway, I'm going to get some shots in. And with my pilot on my wing, I got I passed through them and splashed or put the winks all over 2 of them. And got credit for 1 and another in a highly probable. And then went back, and good thing I did, because I was landing on practically fumes when I got back to not to Morotai, but to our base at Leyte. So, and we stayed up and did additional. We would usually stay there and do additional runs for a day or 2 before we go home.
Were those the only confirmed combat kills that you had?
Pardon?
Were those the only confirmed combat kills?
Well, I don't even know that they're all confirmed. I had many hits, and I never kept them. I don't have any record of confirmed, although I think they're highly probables or highly whatever they call them or whatever. But I splashed over 27 on the ground that I blew up. Of course, those are not airborne type of kills. But all I was interested in is getting all I could of the Japs and getting the hell home. And then we went from there. We went up to Lingayen, which is the far side of Luzon, up at toward Formosa at that time, and we're the first ones to land up in there. And we had lots of action up in there, off the China coast and off of Formosa, off the islands off of Formosa. And went some trips almost up to Japan. We had an awfully long range. We were running, then we came back down into Palawan, I forget the name of the damn deal. The capital there of Palawan. And running trips over to Saigon and China and the India, the continental coast there. A load of them down to Borneo and down to the oil fields and all over the damn place. We went, I guess we were about 7 or 8 different airfields in the Philippines, running both north and south and east on our missions.
Can you describe what an average mission was like? I mean, did it start with a briefing and then the flight?
They were all briefed, and then you flew a pretty high altitude, loose formation on the long missions, and then the leader would be pulling you together, and generally you fought in flights, 4 airplanes to a flight, And often you get broken down into elements, which would be 2 airplanes, and even beyond that, you'd be out by yourself many times. But they, I think my longest was 12 and a half hours, 13 hours maybe. Generally 4 and 5 hours is the normal. And that's pretty, you know, as a fighter pilot, you're doing everything. Navigation, gunnery, bombing, strafing, everything. So you've got your hands full, and you have to keep fairly well alert on all of it. You don't have anyone to help you. You're a single seat fighter. But I flew also 51s, 40s, 39s in combat, and checked out in F4Us and a lot of different airplanes.
Was that later in the war?
No, that was
At the beginning?
We would trade off checkouts and such, and to get used to other airplanes and their performances and stuff like that.
So did you fly P-40s in combat?
40L. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
39s, 40s. Mm-hmm.